it's Sean. Check it out. We've got the Reeve large Inkosi. It looks exactly like a Sebenza 25. It's not. There's a few differences between it. Basically, the only differences are we've got a different washer design inside here. We have a floating pin instead of a kind of Allen head on two sides. And then we have a canted pocket clip right there to get rid of any hot spots when you're holding it tight in your hand. But really awesome knife. I've really been looking forward to purchasing one of these ever since I saw the small Inkosi come out in 2016. You know, it didn't really get me super excited until I saw they had in a knife case showing an exploded view of all the parts inside the knife. And there was only about 8 parts to this knife right here. And I was just blown away that the simplicity of this knife, that you only needed 2 Allen keys to take this thing apart, or 2 screws. So you just unscrew this one right here, unscrew that one, and this just comes right off. So I just thought that was just awesome, just mind-blowing how you can get such elegance and such simplicity, and then such user-friendly features. Everything on the knife just seems to be vanilla. So when the time came when I saw that GP Knives got one of these in stock, you know, I was just like, screw it, just let's get it, let's buy this thing. So picked it up, cost a pretty penny. Definitely did not want to do an unboxing video for you guys. I feel like YouTube is just filled with unboxing videos of these, you know, really expensive Sebenzas and stuff like that. And so there really wasn't anything to add there. There's nothing wrong with those videos. We all like watching them. But I feel like if I'm going to share anything with you guys, it'll be kind of more of a user review. Because I feel like I consider myself more of a knife user, knife sharpener. I like to get out and use my knives, get them a little dirty. I don't like to abuse them per se, but you know, I want to go and use the knife. So you can definitely see that we've got some wear right here on the anodizing. It definitely wore off. Got my first little lick right there, so working on that Boba Fett cool. So we'll definitely have develop some character on this awesome bead blasted titanium. But yeah, it's just a fantastic knife. And there's no way I'm going to be able to cover all the details in this video, so just consider this to be kind of an overview, and we'll do kind of a more detailed kind of video about this knife for sure in the future. Some things that I do want to talk about is kind of a little bit of expectations for this knife. When you first get it, it's not a fast deploying knife, I will say that. It's designed not to be. I feel like there's some things that are kind of counteractive to being a fast deploying knife. One thing is the design and shape of this thumb stud, and then how far back the thumb stud is, and then the actual kind of pivot design itself. It gives you something that's very, very tight, smooth, and hydraulic in feeling, but really this knife feels like it's designed to be deployed like that. Just kind of grandpa style. You know, it feels good, deploy it nice and smooth. If you needed to deploy it fast, you just kind of ride the thumb stud all the way out like that, and you can deploy it quickly, like so. And I'm not saying you can't flick it, you can. It's just that when you flick it, you have to kind of really follow through on it, and you really have to build up pressure on your thumb right there like you're going to flick a coin before you shoot this thing out. So just something I've noticed. And with the double thumb stud that you get stock on the Inkosi, you can definitely do the middle finger flick right there. But yeah, definitely out of the box, you do have to kind of play with the pivot a little bit, find the right amount of tension on there. I have kind of taken the washers apart, polished them up a little bit on a strop, as well as I tried to find the right amount of the Reeve grease to put on there. But yeah, definitely not as fast deploying. And where I'm coming from when I'm talking about this, guys, so you just kind of understand, is we have a paramilitary 2 right here, and I barely have to flick this thing out, and it just flies out. It's solid. And you know, you can see it just drops free. And we don't have, it's not like it's super loosey-goosey or anything like that. But you can see right there. And same here on the 940-1. You can see how that thumb stud is much, much further up. So it just seems to deploy much faster. It's also kind of a thicker thumb stud right there. Boom. And then again, drops free. And again, not incredibly loose. So just some things to think about. It is a really smooth knife. When you hear people say it's hydraulic, that's exactly what they mean, and some people don't know what that means. It's basically, hydraulic means it's smooth, but it has some resistance to it. But that dent just really sucks that in. Probably one of the coolest things about this knife that also kind of helps sway my opinion about it is the lockup. So you can see how much that's locked up, and a lot of super titanium frame lock geeks will probably look at that and be like, oh, that's like 100% or this and that. Well, the thing is that doesn't really matter as much. What people worry about when they talk about kind of percentage of lockup is the life of the lock life. Once that lock's all the way over, then it kind of starts to develop some up and down play. Your knife is basically kind of worn out. You don't have to worry about this as much because this is actually locked up with a kind of fairly large black ceramic ball. So the detent ball is actually the lockup interface on the knife, that's pretty crazy. So you can see right there the groove in the top. That shiny groove is where that ceramic ball actually locks up on the blade tang. Because with these titanium frame lock knives, you actually don't necessarily want titanium on steel because it'll wear the titanium quicker and wear your lock out, as well as you can get some nasty lock stick. But not an issue if you have that ceramic ball. And they advertise that ceramic ball at like 97 HRC. That's directly from Chris Reeve's webpage, so I thought that was interesting too. It's a little black onyx colored ceramic detent ball, so that's just awesome. That's super unique. Ergonomics on this knife are fantastic. You see we've got these finger grooves right here, and for me, I'm not a big finger groove guy. I don't like them. I feel like they're uncomfortable. They only allow you to hold the knife in kind of one grip, but these are done right. I've never had a knife that's actually kind of done them right, and what I mean is they've taken these points right here. They're very well finished. They're almost crowned, the points right there, very rounded, and there's no sharp edges that are grabbing at me. So I can hold it in a chest lever grip. I can just hold it in a tight grip right here. So I really do enjoy that. Also, I like the way that this kind of blade kind of humps back in there right there. And you can see the jimping on there. It's very stylish looking. It looks like a Great American pattern crosscut saw tooth pattern. And so we've got 3 teeth per gully right there. It's very interesting. I have no idea what this right here is for. I think it's just some sort of artistic thing. I thought at first it was for like a ferro rod, so I tried to strike a ferro rod on there. It didn't work. It's a little too smooth since we have a crown spine right there, which is nice. But maybe it's just for indexing, feeling when your kind of jimping is running out. Maybe it's for your index finger to know where to close the blade. Realistically, I think it's probably just some sort of artistic flair. I really, really, really appreciate this large sharpening choil right here. That is fantastic. I could sharpen all the way from the heel to the tip without having to worry about scratching the titanium here. So that is just a real pleasure. Since we're talking about sharpening, we'll also talk about the out-of-the-box edge. It looks nothing like this. It's actually very obtuse. It's probably like 25 per side. It's super polished and rounded, and so it's actually not going to give you a lot of great cutting. It had difficulty cutting newspaper out of the box, but you could see with this edge right here, it has no problem with that. I have probably a 12 to 15 freehand finished on a 3K stone, and also put it on a strap afterwards. So really, really cool. Pocket clip carries really, really nicely. It's not deep carry, but it's not sticking out that far out of your pocket, which is good. I mean, some people don't realize the kind of drawback of deep carry is that you can't pull out of your pocket as fast, especially when it's tip-up carry. You don't want to hang it out for obvious reasons. But it's a lot like the Spyderco pocket clip, except I do feel like that this little bump right here really enhances the carry. You can really feel that lip over your seam, and it feels like it's not going anywhere. And if it does ever catch on anything, you'll feel it kind of bump right over your pant seam right there. So that'll let you know that, hey, I better check my cement to make sure it's still there. But yeah, I think a very cool knife. We're definitely going to have to get into way more detail than this, but I just kind of give you guys a basic overview of this blade. What do I think about it? Do I think it's worth the price tag? I do. And what people don't really realize is that when you use something, it's inevitably going to get wear and tear, and it's nice to have a company that stands behind their product and offers you a service with it. Like I can get these handles re-bead blasted if I wanted, or I can purchase a new blade once I sharpen this one away. So you got to think of this knife as not a impulsive purchase, but kind of more of a lifetime purchase. Kind of like if you could only have one pocket knife, then this would be kind of the one to get, I think. I think it does a lot of things very, very excellent. And we'll cover it in more detail in a video. But there we go. The Chris Reeve Large Inkosi. Love it. Later, guys.